Welcome, welcome. Okay, so we're just giving a little bit of a minute here to let some of you fall in. Hi there, welcome, welcome. So it's been a while since we've had a Gaia live talk story session. Hi everyone. So let me just get my phone up here so that I can see your comments. If you have any, please feel free to join there. Okay, so maybe I won't be able to see the comments on here, but I'll check on my phone every so often on the top there to see if you have any questions or comments. So do feel free to put them through and I'll check those out. But hi everyone, welcome. It's been quite a while since we've had this platform for you, and we have Bonnie here, Bonnie Fernandez.
Hi.
Who is one of the recent family members here at Gaia, and she at the moment is our crystal bracelet specialist, but she is so much more than that, and we'll get into that in a second. So here Gaia wanted to create this little live talk story session for you guys, for us to kind of talk about spirituality in a non-formal way, and kind of just make it seem a little bit more casual than it usually does. And of course we're going to get into crystals, which you have some really fun stuff here to talk about. But I'm going to go ahead and check the comments there just to see if I have everyone's attention, and if you can all hear me, just give me a little wave up for that. Okay, awesome. It looks like we are a go and everyone can see us. Awesome. Okie dokie. So yes, let's go ahead and hand it over to Bonnie. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Bonnie?
Well, I'm into crystals. I've been into crystals since I was about 27. So it's about 30 years that I'm dating myself.
Actually, you know what? I just want to make sure. Can everyone hear Bonnie? Because I did not get the sound up and going. But Bonnie, go ahead. Please continue to explain a little bit more about yourself.
Yes, I've been into crystals since I was 27. I was introduced to crystals by a friend of mine who happened to be a psychic that I had met at that time. So she was the very first one that gave me a couple crystals, and I had no idea. I had no clue what crystals were all about at that time. I was going through several different transitions and transformations, and she came into the right, perfect timing for all of this to come about for me. So deep down inside, in retrospect, I know that was meant to be, for her to introduce crystals to me and to get the ball rolling and start connecting with them on a more deeper relationship with stones and crystals, and just connecting and learning more about it. So.
And I know that we were talking about that earlier, and I was reading through this stuff. So you kind of started off, you weren't very connected to this stuff at first, right? It wasn't really something that you were necessarily interested in. It just kind of came to you, you'd say?
Right. Oh. It did. It just came to me. I didn't, I just didn't gravitate towards anything psychic, and it wasn't, I just, I was aware of it. Mm-hmm. I knew, there were psychics, but I was not interested at all in any of that stuff. But my older brother was. So he kept trying to push me into that direction. Yeah. But I said, no, you do whatever, whatever for yourself, but no, not for me. Right. But yeah, he got it, he got me started, because through that time period, a lot of transitions occurred, and he passed, and it was as if as soon as he passed, everything was thrust upon me. Mm-hmm. And I became overwhelmed. I didn't understand what was going on, what was happening, and it was like a major pinnacle for me during that time. So everything opened up psychically, and I needed to find teachers. I needed to find classes during that time.
And I think, that seems to really be kind of a common theme, is a lot of the time when we get to these points where we're so vulnerable and we're in a really kind of a tough state, we're kind of looking for some other connection, and that's such a great way, and it's such a great time to bring in that spirituality to kind of help you reconnect to yourself.
Right, you know, and sometimes, you know, we don't realize it at the moment, you know, and something dramatic or traumatic can happen to us, and we don't see it until later. You know, then we're like, that's why, you know, that happened.
And I know that's such a tough thing, especially for the younger generations, hearing something that's like, you know, these traumatic experiences in your life are going to do something positive for you. But it's so hard to take that when it's happening, right? To think that way.
That's true, because a lot of it is our humanness, you know, our human understanding. So it's difficult for us to, you know, just kind of move with it and go with the flow, and we're learning constantly. I'm still learning constantly.
It's a lifelong thing.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong thing for
It's
sure.
a process.
Yeah.
But through the years, I've learned a lot to connect with a lot of different crystals.
And what are you wearing there? Can you tell us a little bit about that one too? That's gorgeous. I love that.
Oh, this is a moldavite, and I so love moldavite. But it has a lizard on it, and I love lizards.
Oh,
You know, I just love lizards.
they're awesome.
You know, they're all over the garden. So it's like mini dragons.
Yeah.
all over the place.
Mama would love that. Mini dragons.
And so I just love moldavite, and I know moldavite is really a high frequency stone.
Right.
So when you first get into moldavite, it might not be too easy on individuals.
Right.
You know?
I've heard.
Yeah. So some people, you know, they might want to leave the moldavite in another room instead of next to them.
Yeah.
Because it might be too much energy.
Yeah, and just kind of like slowly
Slowly
introduce yourself.
Right. You slowly integrate the energies of moldavite into your energy.
Yeah.
You know, and you just work with it little at a time, not just one time.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know about moldavite is like one of the most special stones that comes from outer space. Right?
Yes.
And it landed in now called Czech Republic, right?
Yes.
So they've the meteorite that landed there and created these beautiful mineral inclusions like that are very high vibrational. Is that a little moldavite too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Wow.
It's a moldavite pendulum that I use for everything. I use this for my channel paintings as well.
Yes, and which we also have such beautiful channel paintings here in our shop that Bonnie did for us. Can you tell us a little bit about those two? I'm just going to check the comments to see if we have any questions before we move on. Hi guys, welcome. Thank you so much for joining and being with us here today, everyone. And yes, any questions, go ahead and put them through. But yeah, Bonnie, could you tell us a little bit about those paintings too? Because those are gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Those paintings, they're energetic paintings. They are light codes and activations, and so much information within each painting. And I receive channeled information through me in codes and light frequencies. And as I channel them, it comes through me, and I channel them through the painting. And as I complete the paintings, I use my moldavite to seal it and seal the energy within each painting. And it's really amazing because, I mean, you can use any pendulum actually, but when I use the moldavite,
it's special.
It just spins wild. You know, it just goes wild. Yeah. It's it's a really happy pendulum, but I love moldavite.
I love how it's so cute and so small. It's perfect because you don't need that much moldavite.
Right,
you know?
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is a really good segment to go into regarding moldavite. Mm-hmm. So if you do look for moldavite and you're having trouble trying to figure out if the moldavite is authentic or glass, perhaps, there's
because that happens a lot. You know, a lot of crystals that you find these days can be man-made in China, right? A lot of the time that we find them. So yeah, and that's kind of what Bonnie wants to tell us a little bit about how to tell if your crystals are authentic a little bit, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
So moldavite, first do your homework, do a lot of research, study. That's what I did. That's what I continue to do with all crystals that is under my care. And I just need to educate myself, and I continuously self-educate myself regarding things that I'm passionate about. And this would only help you as well as others to educate yourself and just continue to do that, because the crystals are always changing and they're always shifting. We're not the only species that are shifting and changing.
You know what, I've heard that before too from one of our practitioners. She brought that up, was even like the crystal books from the 80s or 70s, whereas if we look at them now, of course energy is going to shift, so those crystals might not really be representing or having the same energies, right? Kind of something like that.
Right, that's true. That's very true. Oh, there's a lot to say there.
Yeah. Interesting point, but yeah.
Yeah, because each individual, it'll react and interact with them differently.
That's true too, right?
It might have the basic foundational meanings and properties that is generalized, but when each individual works with it, they'll find that it'll be totally different for them versus for another person.
Right.
And so when you work with a lot of your stones, you'll know how to identify the real stones versus fake stones.
Yeah.
You'll be able to identify the energies through photographs, through videos, through just pictures, magazines perhaps, or books, or whatever. You don't necessarily need to have it in your presence. It would be nice to have it in your presence, but once you become more attuned and connected with all of the stones or crystals, then you'll be able to just zero in on the consciousness. The crystal has consciousness, so you'll zero in and connect with that consciousness, and you'll know. You'll either hear messages telepathically or get pictures, or any form of communication will come through to you directly from the crystal. If not, if you receive no information, then more times than likely you might not have a crystal that is authentic.
Yeah.
So for the moldavites, to find out if a moldavite is real, there's air bubbles in moldavite. If you don't see any air bubbles, that's one indication that that's not a.
So like it almost looks a little more organic, like it shouldn't look so factory. If we
Yes.
put it like that, okay.
And then there are these black specks as well in the moldavite.
Okay.
That that are everywhere or throughout. You might not have a lot of black specks.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what that is.
Like linings, or it would be more like the dot
peppers.
Like peppered. Okay.
Yeah, like peppered, and also you'll feel the energy.
Yeah. Moldavite, that's a hard one not to feel.
Right. Yeah, you'll really feel it. You'll it'll either have a warm or hot sensation in the person's hand, or it'll go straight to the heart chakra. Or it'll target the places that need healing immediately.
Awesome.
So, moldavite, they do have fakes out there which look like glass. I mean, it's just obvious. It's shiny, it looks wet, and it looks like glass.
Too soft and shiny.
Yeah. So,
would you say that moldavite is a heart chakra crystal?
Yes.
Okay.
A higher heart chakra.
Higher, because I was gonna say it's just so high vibrational. I guess it could be like a little bit of heart, but also the higher chakras too.
Yes, and it literally just goes down all your chakras. It's so beautiful. It is. And the thing I love about moldavite is you won't have entities around you when you have moldavite.
It's too high vibrational for that?
They'll scatter. They won't. They'll just.
It won't stay close. Okay.
No.
Good to know.
They'll disappear. But yeah, I just I love moldavite. In the beginning, I took it slow, and I worked with it slowly, and then, I slept with it, put it under my pillow, and see how the energies were. Then, for a while I would have to, leave it outside of my room until I got used to its energies.
Yeah, you know what? I brought malachite home once, a really nice raw piece of malachite, and that one I actually had to do exactly the same thing. For a while I could only bring it out like 10 minutes at a time, 10 minutes tops. Otherwise it was just like very overwhelming. But now we're happy, we're cool. He stays out in my room.
Oh, nice,
We're all good now. But yeah, would you suggest, like, let's say for any of you maybe first timers watching and wanting to kind of know what the spiel is with crystals? Could you tell us a little bit, like, if someone's a first beginner, would you suggest them doing these kind of getting to know your crystal type things, and what ideas there? Because I know you having it under your bed is kind of a nice way to connect during sleep and kind of dream time. Do you have any other ideas of how a beginner can kind of connect?
If you're beginning, I would suggest to start off with the basic stones: clear quartz, rose quartz, amethyst, carnelian, a lot of quartz you start off with. But I know that even if you're beginning or beginners regarding crystals, getting into them, you will resonate and gravitate towards other different crystals that you might not even know what they are and why you're being attracted to them. There's a different reason for that. But if you are attracted to other stones as a beginner, I suggest just getting them. You may not understand those stones at the certain moment in time that you pick them, but they're picking you for a reason, and so you come into that reasoning with that stone eventually. But do get that stone, it's for you.
And that's so funny too, because a lot of people come into the store and they're okay, what crystal should I start off with? And the quartz, the rose quartz, maybe a black tourmaline protection, but it's so much more powerful when you can connect with yourself, right? Go and kind of connect with yourself and see what your higher self, what your body's telling you, right?
Right.
And just kind of go with that. Even if you're kind of coming in for, let's say, you're feeling kind of sad, where normally we would suggest like an amber. But if you find yourself being called to a blue stone, it's important to listen to what your body's telling you, what you're communicating with these crystals. Right?
Listen to your intuition.
Yes, exactly.
Well. Yeah, because the stones will call you. You'll be drawn to it. And that's right there. And that's the answer. So just get that stone.
Just go for it. Listen to yourself.
Yes, listen to the stone.
Yeah. All right, hon. So tell us a little bit more about what we've got next here. So we got some fun stuff here to look at.
Okay, so let's see. Let's start off with
beautiful ambers.
But is it amber?
But is it? No. So I can. So just because I've worked with crystals, I offhand would say these are probably reconstituted, as far as I know, but probably maybe even fake.
Plastic.
Plastic. Okay, yeah. And I've noticed that when I can see these kind of flakes in it, that's kind of my tell.
Yes.
But that one definitely feels quite authentic. But I don't know. Maybe too gold. It's too gold. It's too. I mean, they've done a great job of creating the crack kind of look there. But then I do see the flecks here, which kind of looks like those.
There's a couple ways you can figure out if amber is authentic or not.
Okay.
One way would be to put the amber in a bowl of warm water and sea salt.
Okay.
You dissolve the sea salt, like about a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons.
Yeah.
You dissolve it in the warm water and you drop the amber in. Now, if the amber sinks to the bottom, it's fake. If it comes up and it floats, it's real. You have authentic amber. But you have to remember that if the amber is set in jewelry like silver or gold, it's naturally gonna sink. So you don't want to, put that in because it's not gonna work. But something like this, like a bracelet or like a pendant like this.
Yeah, let me go and show
you.
You
can even put something like this size. And I know Gaia Hawaii has a whole bunch of these.
Yeah, or they're dwindling, but we'll get more.
But you can also toss a size like this into that saltwater mixture. And my gosh, they come straight up to the top.
Well, I mean, they feel so light. They're definitely always a really light stone.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to go show these up close. So these are for sure fakes. So is this one a fake as well?
You want to test it?
Let's test it.
Okay, yeah, you already know that one. Okay. Hey, what do you think? Nothing's going on here.
I know, I'm like, am I getting too anxious around it?
Okay, it would have been spinning by now.
So the spinning is the yes. Yeah. So I want to show you guys up close here what the fake ambers. These ones are very easy to tell. That I've seen a lot in my experience.
You can see dye in here.
In those ones. Okay, yeah, that's what I see, the dyeing color in that one.
There's dye.
So I'm going to try to focus. Wow, that's really difficult to focus. So I apologize, guys. I would really love to show this to you. Okay, well, if you can see that, so it's not really a close looking amber there. Hang on a moment.
Here's our real amber.
Okay, yeah. So we have Bonnie there testing her moldavite pendulum on the real amber. And I'll bring these a little bit closer. So as you can see, so these are the pendants here. And I know you can't focus on very well, but you can still see kind of the flecks there that this amber has. And that's very much not what amber looks like. And then we have this bracelet here, which for the pendulum, it told us no. And you can't see here, but you can really see the where the dyes have been put into the bracelet there. And then, of course, that beautiful piece of black, that's the black amber, right?
Yes.
So I know also another thing that my grandma always taught me is amber is always supposed to be warm when you touch it. And I know as soon as I touch these, they're also kind of cold. Mm-hmm. And this guy is warm. He's warm. Mm-hmm. So that's a real piece of amber there. And it's really light. You can just feel it here that if you were to toss it in some water, it would definitely float. All right, let's see some other stuff that we have here.
Okay.
Then we've got a little quartz pendulum and another quartz pendulum.
What are they?
What are they? That's the question. Okay, so let's see. So what I see here, guys, is like it's clear quartz and it's got these kind of inclusions, I guess is what you call them. And usually when I see inclusions in crystals, it almost makes me feel like they're more authentic. So that would, awesome. Oh yes, cute little magnifying glass. But these inclusions are a little bit strange, like they're kind of bubbly. So I feel like, I don't know, I want to say they were trying to make this look natural, but it's not. And you know, it's kind of light. So I would say that's probably a fake. They tried very hard though. They tried very hard with the inclusions there. Oh, that one is,
That one has glass written all over it.
Yeah.
Because you can see it looks wavy.
Yeah, that wave in the middle there, like,
Yeah.
that's something I haven't even seen in a quartz. Okay.
Right. So these are glass. So anytime you have like quartz or even sometimes cherry quartz, look real closely because in those are air bubbles.
Oh, and when you find the air bubbles, that's when you know it's kind of glass.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's
Got
glass.
it. We actually have some raw cherry quartz here too.
Oh, nice.
Let me bring one. Maybe I can bring one.
And this is opalite. I know a lot of people really like opalite, but I hate to burst your bubble. Opalite is glass as well, but it's pretty. It's very pretty. So,
yeah, you know, I always tell people there are a lot of stuff that's made of glass, but it
still
has,
pretty.
It's pretty. It still has the color, and it still has
beauty.
And I think a lot of, you know, the crystals get a lot of their energy from us as understanding their colors. So I think opalite having the colors of blue and yellow can still embody some energies for you. But I just wanted to get this a little bit closer up for you guys. So here we have this quartz pendulum here. And if you can see kind of these white inclusions that are on it, and there's some glass bubbles in there. And this one here too, there's some kind of like waves inside there. I'm so sorry guys that you can't see, this is great. But trying there. So yeah, these two are glass, and you can really just see little air bubbles in them. Yeah. And I guess that would be a really big tell then.
Yeah, so it's really difficult to determine that, especially if you're purchasing crystals online, unless you know of a reputable crystal company or crystal dealer, and you know, they're upfront with where they get their crystals from, and what they're actually made of. And because you do have a lot of companies that do disclose information about the crystals, and then you do have sellers that are just selling and they don't really know.
Yeah, and you know what, as someone who's working on the business side of things, I have experienced both. And here at Gaia, I have now made sure that all of our vendors that we're getting our crystals from do have information about where they're getting their crystals. So like for this piece, this is the cherry quartz that we were talking about earlier. And so I know that this one came from Tanzania because they let me know that. But why don't we have you feel for it?
This is what it should look like. Because I've seen online how they have these clear glass things, and it looks like dye is in there to make it look like a cherry quartz.
Yeah, just like a quartz with some like lighter lines in there. Like,
right. Yeah.
So I'll bring this up a little bit closer. I mean, of course, you can see that this is a very raw piece here, but so cherry quartz, as far as I know, is actually supposed to be made of one of the highest quality quartz mixed with lithium, right? And that's why it gets the kind of purplish cherry color there.
It so looks like lepidolite.
I mean, sorry, lepidolite. Is that what I said? Yeah, yes, because lithium is in lepidolite. Sorry, that's what I meant to say, guys. Yeah, so lepidolite has lithium, and that's where it gets that cherry color there. I do have someone who mentioned something here. Pueo. Hey there. Warmth is good for amber. Jade is supposed to be cold. Yeah, definitely. Do some natural quartz have bubbles, or is that a sign of synthetic produce? Yeah, I think we've kind of ruled out that bubbles are usually a sign of glass.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Let me just make sure that's all the questions that we have.
Obsidian and onyx is glass. They're volcanic.
That's right. That's right. Because
it's natural glass.
That's true. Yeah. So, well, would someone possibly see bubbles in like obsidian or peridot then? I'm not really sure.
I don't know.
It's a good
You
question.
can see through that dark black.
That's true.
You know.
So yeah, there are actually naturally occurring stones that are made of glass. For example, obsidian and peridot, which come from volcanoes. And actually, both of those stones can be found here on the Hawaiian Islands. We have the black sand beach and the green sand beach on Maui, I believe. Yeah, so there is that possibility. Let me just make sure we answer those questions there.
Yes.
Aloha, no problem, Pueo. Okay, yeah, so let's see what we have next here.
Yes, the person that mentioned about jade.
Yeah.
Yes, jade is always cold. That is correct. And there's several different tests to test your jade as well. One of them is with the UV light. If you have a UV flashlight or the pen light, and you shine it, but you need to make sure you have protective goggles for that, so you don't ruin your eyes. And what you do is you flash that UV flashlight on here, and if you see any fluorescent color going on in the jade, that's dye. They inject it with polymer, and they inject it with all of these different synthetics in it, and that's not real.
So are they taking jade and like enhancing it with dyes and stuff like that?
That's what
that's
they do.
unfortunate. Wow.
Yeah, and it's hard for anyone that is shopping for jade, that don't know their jade. If they don't know how to determine what they're looking at, especially whoever they buy it from. You can buy it from any Chinese dealer, but if they don't know and they don't have that information where these came from, and you're not aware, and you can't really tell just by looking off. There are a few tests that you can figure out, but I don't know if you want to do a couple tests in the store.
Yeah.
But one of them would be to get a strand of hair over your hair, and what you would do is you would place the strand over like a bangle, bracelet, or whatever jade piece you have. You place the strand over like this. You get a lighter and you light the hair right there. Now,
like, do you put the lighter directly up to it? Okay.
Yep. You put the flame directly here on the hair, and if the lighter burns the hair, that's not real jade.
Oh, okay.
Now, if the lighter doesn't burn the hair, you got yourself authentic jade.
Got it.
Reason being is jade is cold.
So it wouldn't even let the hair get hot enough. Wow,
it's so
awesome.
neat.
Yeah.
I did that test and I was like, this is so cool.
I know, I gotta try that one out.
Yeah, so it's so cool, but you can more or less tell when you're looking, because they inject a lot of different synthetics, just to sell it to, unknowing individuals.
Just to kind of make it look a little bit more specky and get the colors out.
Yeah. So it's really hard because a lot of people end up spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
I know someone was telling me too that they're actually injecting jade with minerals that make it cold too. So that's probably
they're really getting sneaky and sly, and doing all of these things. And that's why it's so important to connect with the stones, energetically, because you will know. You won't need to do any tests. Intuitively and energetically, you'll be at that connecting bond that you can just immediately just tell by looking at something or just touching it or just holding it, and you feel that it's dead. There's no energy in it. Or you'll know. You'll just immediately know and connect intuitively, or you'll get a telepathic message, or you'll get a sign. You'll get something.
And that takes time. That doesn't come overnight. So that connection really takes some time. And what I kind of came to mind is when you're doing that connection too, it's I guess let's say even if someone came across a jade bracelet that was maybe fake or maybe injected, and let's say this person did feel connected to it, what would you say in that sense? Or would you say that is more our body trying to connect to the more natural ones? What would you say about something like that?
It could be a connection from a different aspect of the individual, wanting to actually connect and have that bond with that particular type of crystal.
Yeah.
And they're learning.
And needing that, and kind of leaning towards that connection.
They're still, learning.
Yeah.
But, it could be that.
Yeah.
Or it could be something else. Or it could be like some of these stones, they put bits and pieces, like even in amber. Right. They just put pieces of it to make it look more authentic.
I see.
So it's like crazy.
So like these charms here would be like, maybe that would be like a resin with little pieces of amber inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
I see. So this isn't necessarily, it's not necessarily all fake, but they're modifying a lot of the time.
They're changing it.
I see.
But I don't know. Some people resonate, with those things.
That's
okay.
kind of my question is, I do
fine.
see that people do resonate with a lot of the ones that are kind of designed, and that's okay. That's their connection there, and that's the way that they're going to work through it, or that's how their journey goes. So there's also that. I just want to check if we have any more questions here, guys. Okay, so let's see what else we got there. Would love to see.
You were talking about earlier the malachites.
Malachite,
Yeah.
So let's see. So we've got 2 malachites today.
Yes, we do.
So the thing I know about malachite is that it gets reconstituted, right? So from what I can tell, that means that they melt it down and they reform it. But this bead here is not malachite at all. That is like little Play-Doh thing that somebody put together. For this bead, guys, what I'm seeing here is, so malachite is this really beautiful deep green and often has these light green ringlets, and sometimes you can see black lines as well. But this bead here, the black lines just give it away. They're just too much. They're too perfect. I don't know. They're too deep black.
There are beads out there that look like this that are rainbow colors.
Okay.
And I think I read up on it, and it actually was car paint.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, because it looks like it's painted. Or, yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of this is coming out of China too.
Right.
But China they do have a lot of authentic stones.
Yes, they do. They have a lot. They do.
They do.
They've got a lot of obsidian too.
You just gotta, gotta be aware, of what's out there and what you're looking at, and doing your best at connecting with the energies of the stone. Because when you connect with that stone, you'll be like, oh, okay, that's the one for me.
Yeah.
I need to get that, but feel how heavy it is.
Yeah, that one's heavy, and I just kind of wanted to give a minute and connect with this energy there.
And
yeah, it feels a lot. It just feels some life in there. That heaviness. Yeah.
And it's green all the way through.
Yeah, it's green all the way through.
Yeah, I've seen a sliced one. The miner that I got this from in Tucson, at the Tucson Gem Show,
Nice.
He had a box of these, and he had one that was split in half, and I was like,
oh, awesome.
Oh, poor thing. I said, what are you going to do with him? I'll take him home and nurse him back to health. He said, oh, no, that's okay.
So you can see it.
Yeah.
It's
like
that's
samples.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good way to see
like
that.
green all the way through and stuff. But if you make elixirs, don't put this in them.
Oh, yes, because mercury, right?
Yeah, it's
We've got
toxic.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta be real careful with that.
But if it's closed like this, you're usually okay. If it's a raw malachite, you really have to worry about washing your hands afterwards. Oops, I'm sorry. He's popping out. He wants to come say hi. I'm sorry, guys. I just wanted to bring this a little bit closer. So if you can see that this bead here, guys, Gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why the focusing isn't working here for me. But if you could probably see the black lines, even this out of focus. And yeah, that's definitely the fake bead there. And then we have the malachite here, and you can probably see the light lines of light green and the darker green there, but not too much these kind of painted black lines that we have on that bead there.
Yeah, the painted one is more uniform, you notice?
Yeah, uniform. Yeah, that's a perfect word for it. Okay, let's see what else we got here. We have someone saying, I'm learning so much. Awesome. Yay. We're so glad. Thank you, guys.
Okay, now we have dyes. Now, there's a lot of stones out there that do have dyes in them. They're heat treated, but a lot of people still gravitate towards them. They're still drawn to them, and they still are able to work with them. It's up to the individual, whatever stones and the different types that they want to use. So there's no right way or no wrong way. It's all open. But this one here is, you could tell already.
Yeah, dyed crackle quartz, we call it, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll bring this a little bit closer. So yeah, guys, here we have this beautiful kind of faceted bead. So it's got like this cloudy white on the left, and then we have like a deeper blue. And yeah, usually when you see something like that, it's not real. That deep blue.
Yeah, and it just screams, I'm dyed.
Yeah, it does. And you can see kind of the veins of where the dye would go into.
Right. Now this is...
Got a piece of turquoise there. Let's see, is it real? You know what? I don't know too much about turquoise. I know that a lot of times they take howlite and they dye it blue. And I'm not sure if turquoise is supposed to be heavy or anything. So yeah, this one, I don't know. I want to say offhand it's fake just because it's so light. But I think turquoise is a very light stone. I don't know.
Yeah, howlite dyed.
Dyed howlite?
Yeah. So they dye howlite to look like turquoise, to mimic turquoise, to sell it as turquoise. But one big indication with the dyed howlite when they sell it as turquoise is that it's so cheap.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense.
Turquoise is very expensive.
Yeah.
You know, you won't find real turquoise at the prices that you find dyed howlite.
Got it.
You know, so that's a really good indication is the price. The price for everything, actually. You know, you have to really question if, you know, you see a stone that you know that's expensive, but why is it $2.99? Why is it $5.99?
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, is that a deal or no deal? So
definitely a good indicator there.
Yeah.
Because these are minerals, and they really, you know, if you want the real stuff, yeah, you're gonna have to pay a pretty penny to get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, so that's citrine. So yeah, everybody loves citrine, and I think a lot of us know that when citrine looks like this, it's been heat treated, right? Am I right? So are they taking regular quartz here, or are they taking amethyst?
Amethyst.
That's right. Right.
Amethyst. So they bake amethyst at high temperatures, high heat, to get when you see the burnt orange color, it just tells you it's amethyst.
Yeah,
you know.
because citrine is normally a very clear looking yellow. A lot of times it's almost white, you can't even tell. Oh, that's a beautiful one with tons of rainbows in it. So if you can see how light the yellow is here, I mean, this is a very deep yellow one compared to a lot of the other natural ones that I've seen. But yeah, you know, you don't see that deep tinge of orange there.
This citrine is from Congo.
Oh, I love that. There's so many rainbows in that too.
It's an expensive one.
That's a gorgeous one. Yeah, and it's really a deep yellow. I haven't seen a natural one like this. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's such a happy stone.
Yeah, it is.
It's so happy.
Wow. Yeah, I wish I could show you guys the rainbows that are shining off of this one.
Can they see it through the camera?
I don't think so, but let's try. Just because it's like
not wanting to focus. What if I focus it on her face? Oh, hey, that kind of did something. Okay, so let's see if I can find a rainbow in here for you guys to see the rainbows. Oh, there we go. Is anyone seeing that rainbow? If you can, it's in there. Okie dokie. So let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, so I know these as goldstones. And I believe that they're man-made. They've always been man-made.
Yes, they have different colors, I think.
Yeah. So we've got. I've seen these before, goldstones, and they're really just this beautiful kind of sparkly and orangey kind of looking. They really have like small little glitters in them. They almost look like if you look really close into an aventurine or a sunstone.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
that's
they've
right.
got
The
those kind of
sunstones.
glitters in them. But yeah, this is way more glittery. Is goldstone
It's pretty.
glass? So what is goldstone?
Yeah, it's glass.
Glass.
It's man-made, but it's
It's
pretty though. Yeah.
And you know what? Goldstone still has the energy of orange, the energy of your sacral chakra. So something like that would still be helpful with creativity and boosting those kinds of energies, or even one-on-one relationships, because that's what the sacral chakra is also about there, right? Oh, that's nice. So this is quite a special color, and it's very light. So I would say offhand, I would say this is fake, because I don't see this color to it. I mean, there are crystals, there are really beautiful crystals that are deep blue, and nice, beautiful colors like this, but there's just something you can see about them. They have a natural kind of look to them. But yeah, this one, I would say, is just a dyed quartz of some.
Yeah, this one is being
quartz.
passed off as a apatite.
Apatite. Oh, I see. Okay, well, I can see how it would be, how they would say it with apatite, but it's too light. It's too soft. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see the coloring going on in there. It's just,
It's just a bright coloring. It's not really that natural apatite color. Let me get a little closer up here. So for you all here. So that one they're kind of trying to pass off as apatite. Sorry, excuse me. But yeah, if you guys can see that there. And you can see the little bit of dye veins. What I've been really noticing, guys, is that there are these veins that you can see in a lot of the crystals that show that dye.
The dye, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's like a big red flag right there.
Good thing to point out.
Yeah. So since we've been talking about a lot of glass, we're gonna bring these out.
I'm excited to learn about these, guys. Put these to the side.
Because these are glass, but they're a different type of glass. They're glass-like crystals, they're called, but these are called Andoras, monatomic Andoras.
Wow.
Monatomic, because they do hold a lot of monatomic elements within them.
Can you explain what monatomic means? I actually don't think I've used that word before.
They're monatomic elements. They're like a powder-like substance or chemical, or that's within the crystal, or even on it, around it. Some call it prima matra or ormus, and they have that powder-like substance in organic form, in protein drinks.
Oh, I see.
And down to earth, and I've seen it. I'm like, no way,
You can ingest that stuff.
Yeah, and I've seen it online, and it's like so expensive. And I'm like, oh wow, So these are different. They're very, very different. They're nothing like any crystal that I've experienced on this planet. I did tell one of my friends that I believe that these are not from here. I've done a lot of research and looking into this and read up a lot about it. Several years ago, I came across this individual online that was showing these, and she had these, and I said, what is that? You know, it looks like glass, because it does. You know, I mean,
it looks like something you might find at the beach.
Yeah, you know, but
much more.
Yeah, so
beautiful.
I just did a lot of research, did a lot of my homework, looked more deeper into it, and said, okay, I want to know, you know, why she has all of this, and this person is very well known, on a, you know, as a healer.
Yeah.
And so I looked into it, and I said, oh, I don't know, you know, and then I looked at the prices of these stones, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane.
I've seen really
you know?
crazy prices for these guys.
And
Where do they come from?
And there are a couple places that they are coming from. One is from the Northern Sierras in California, and another is in Indonesia, and the other is in Africa. So the Africa Andoras, for a while no one could access them because they were located near a diamond mine. So the diamond mine is like highly secure, highly watched, and everything, so no one could really access those. Just recently, I think a year or so, someone has been able to access the ones from Africa. And so with them being from different parts of the globe, they're gonna come out from other places.
Yeah.
So like this one is from California. Actually, they all are from California. These, but I do have the Indonesia ones, and I also have just one African one, you know, that was gifted to me. But it was really funny because when I took that Andorra home, and I connected with it, and I'm like, where were you all my life, my partner, friend, you know? And I couldn't let it go. And I held on to it from the time that I received it from my friend, and I went to bed with it. I walked everywhere with it in my hand. And the thing with Andoras is when you go to sleep with them, if you hold them in your hand while sleeping, it'll still be there. Unlike any other crystal you take with you, you'll find them all over under the sheets with you and whatnot. But an Andorra will be exactly in that hand.
Yeah, I haven't, you know, I haven't seen Andoras up close, and I'm definitely getting a Moldavite feel. Like when I first kind of looked at Moldavite, I got this overwhelming feeling that I felt high almost. But these are like similar to that energy, but it's just like going through my hands, and it's actually like making it kind of cold, but I also feel super calm, super supportive. It's like this mixture of wanting to like elevate my energy, but just also like give me a hug and tearing me there. So that was really beautiful. Those are amazing.
That's what it does. Actually, nobody knows the extent of the amount of healing that Andoras can do.
Wow.
I mean, there's some information out there, but it only goes so far.
It's a relatively new crystal guy, then. Yeah.
Well, not really. The Andoras came out in California on a lady's mind. Her name was Lady Nellie, and she was a Choctaw shaman, a medicine woman.
Awesome. Wow.
And so she discovered them on her property in a mine.
Wow.
So, you know, that's an amazing story.
Yeah.
You should, you know, everyone should go read that story.
Research more about that.
It's unbelievable, and it got me more intrigued. And that's when I said, okay, I'm gonna get me, you know, so I got me like a small piece. You know, I my first purchase was like a small piece, but it was really funny because the Andoras are very synchronistic stones. And they will synchronize everything for you, and you won't even know what's going on. You know, and I didn't know. You know, everything was being synchronized from everything, the information that I was looking for, and it just came like right one after the other to the stones that I picked, And I was thinking, oh no, and I was hearing, oh yes, you're gonna be getting more of us.
Yeah, they tend to speak like that. Hey, we're coming for you.
But they're highly telepathic. They are highly synchronistic. They pop in and out of dimensions. So if you have an Andorra, make sure you have a sit down with them, like I did. And I told them, don't you dare pop out of dimensions with me because you cost too much for me to have
Stay
you
with me.
disappear. But they've disappeared. You know, they've disappeared on people. And everyone that has experiences will be different.
Yeah, right.
Before my other job, I had a couple coworkers hold these in their hands. I didn't tell them what they were. I just said, close your eyes. And I just put it in their hands.
Yeah.
And one girl, she had such a huge grin on her face, and I said, what are you looking at? What's going on? You know, and she said, oh my gosh, Bonnie. And I go, what? And she said, I see nothing but sacred geometric shapes and forms appearing. I was like, how come they didn't show me that? You know?
Right? It's not, but that's not what it's about.
Yeah. And then another individual, I took her to a tree in the parking lot at my old job, and I said, oh, just hold on to the tree. You know, I wanted
Ground yourself with the
yeah,
tree.
yeah. And I put this in her hand, and it just started doing work on her, and it started pouring so much love into her that she became overwhelmed with this love, and her eyes welled up and everything. I said, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know, let me
I mean,
go.
I can very much feel that. Like, they're just pushing out the love. Like, it just is shooting straight through my fingers, and I'm feeling really blissed out.
Yeah, these are multidimensional and quantum stones. They're super high vibrational energy stones. I did a meditation on myself way back several years ago, and I placed 7 chakras, and I placed 7 going down on both sides of my body down here, and 1 at the soul star chakra, soul star and earth star chakra. Oh my gosh, no, it was like you know that story Gulliver's Travel?
I don't think so.
Gulliver the Giant.
Okay.
It's like a children's story. And he's a giant and he meets little people.
Interruptions. We're going to run out of time here soon, so we
Have to pack it in. So
let's pack it in a couple minutes.
Okay.
They're going to close. They'll close the show on us. So to put some conclusion.
To put conclusion to this, oh my gosh, these are amazing. They will move you into the places that you need to be, like lightning. The vibration is just so high, so amazing, but at the same token, they are not for everyone. So not everyone will resonate or gravitate, because sometimes someone will get it and nothing will occur for them.
And even I've heard that with the Moldavites too, and that really applies to all of the crystals here, guys.
Right.
So I'm so sorry to cut this short. We just ran through the time today. So if you have any questions, dearest, just come on through, call us. If you'd like to set up an appointment with Bonnie here, a consultation, we will have her start offering her services here in the next month. We'll get all that work done, and we'd love to have her do a crystal workshop next month. So look forward to all of that, guys. And yeah, in the meantime, she is creating crystal bracelets and does custom ones. So if there's anything that you guys want us to do, let us know. And of course, send through any questions.
And again, everyone, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for joining.
Lots of love. Take care, everyone. Thank you again.